Hey there, Michael. So, sorry it's taken me a little bit of time to get this video to you, but anyway, this is my kid's Honda cr60 and it's a usable bike. So I've not done anything to this to make it like a garage queen or a collector's item or anything like that. So, one thing that you were asking about was the shock. So it's an emulsion shock. So what does that mean? It's got oil and air in the shock body. Now it is rebuildable, but I would probably recommend that you send it off to be rebuilt. Somewhere like Race Tech or a local suspension shop would do that. Now then, this section, you want to get the spring off. This section here has got like this castellated ring, and you can turn this castellated ring. So hopefully you can see this. It's a little bit difficult. So there's a post on the shock body which fits into a groove on this ring here. And basically what you want to do is you want to move this ring around so that post fits into here, and that means that the spring has got the least tension. So there's two kinds of tool that you can use for that. So one of them is called a C-spanner. So that is a C-spanner, and they come in different sizes. And you will see it's this shape. And the little knot, so this one's too big for this shock, okay? But the little hook there fits into the little castellations on the shock body, on that ring, and you can use that to then turn that ring, and then it takes the tension off the spring. The other tool that you can use is called a hook spanner. These also come in different sizes, but they're a bit adjustable. So you can see that hook there is a much smaller hook. And so that will just fit in there. And I've seen that you've got your shock off the bike. So what I would do is I would clamp the top flat bits of the shock body into your vise, and then use the hook spanner or the C-spanner to undo that, take the tension off the spring. And then once you've done that, the shock's upside down, there's less tension on the spring. And this section here, you've sent me a picture of yours. This section here has got a cutout, you can see. And basically, you would then push that down and then it would just slide out. And then once that's slid out, then the spring will just pull off the rest of the shock, and then you'll be left with the exposed shock, and then that's ready to then have service. Like I say, I would send that off. I mean, I would personally rebuild it myself, but I've done a lot of shocks, and I think it'd be best to send that off, and someone would replace the seals, the seal head, the bump stop, etc, etc. So that's that. The linkage, which you've also sent me a picture of, so that has in it some bearings that are pressed in, and then it's got some bushings which push into the bearings, and then it's got some seals. So you can get kits for them, or failing that, a bearing shop will sell you the individual bearings for you to press in to that yourself. A lot of the parts for these bikes are very difficult to find. So you've mentioned the tank and things like that. They are difficult to find. Things like the piston are difficult to find. So with the piston, and I've done a video of this, so if you do a search on my YouTube, Honda cr60 piston, I think you'll find a video there where I run through replacing the piston in a cr60 with a Kawasaki cx60 piston. So the kx piston needs some slight modification, but not much, and then you need to get it bored. It needs to be overboard to take that piston, but other than that, that's fine. There are people that do aftermarket exhausts, places to get things like gaskets and seals and things like that. If you go and have a look on a website, 2 websites for you. One is DC Plastics and the other one is ReMX. I think it's re-mx.com. Both those sites are in America, and they've got parts for these bikes, like the bearings, the seals, stuff like that. I've just had... See, I do this bike to keep it as a riding bike rather than, like I said, a garage queen. And I've just put this chain guide block on, and it was not the correct one for the bike at all. I'm sure that was off a cx250, I think. And I've made 2 little spacers here and then just bolted it on. So, you know, I'm not precious about things like that because, like I say, it's not a concourse bike. It's not designed for me to just look beautiful. It is going to be used. My kids are going to ride around on it, fall off it. I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to keep it for a long time. And eventually I'll do it up to being a bit of a showpiece. But hopefully that's been enough info. If you need any more, just give me a shout and I will help you out as much as I can. And the other thing to do is there's a Honda cr60 Facebook group. Get yourself on that. Ask questions. People help out. People point you in the direction of parts and stuff like that. People will tell you about the pistons and the rings. If you try and find original cr60 ones, they're a flipping fortune. Just get the KX60 ones and you will not be disappointed at all. And then hopefully when you've done a bit of work to it and it's in a bit of a nicer state, you can send me some pictures, and happy days, mate. So good luck, and if you need any more help, give me a shout.